just don't understand what you're doing. Why didn't you just tell me who you were from the start?
I thought it might be confusing, and I knew you had some personal business to deal with first. But now that you're done, we can finally... The Skyans have a considerable head start, so we don't have much time.
Why the hell should I get mixed up?
You have no other choice, Jax. You won't be able to get rid of that alien infection without my help. And besides, how long is it since you had a good dose of Elex or mana? You don't have enough strength or magic to fight, and the infection is only making it worse. I'm the only one who can save you. I know more about this kind of disease than anyone else.
I guess you're right. We might...
Let me start by explaining exactly what's happening to you. The Skyanids that bit you are highly enhanced with a purple substance not unlike our blue Elex. That's why I've taken to calling it Dark Elex. The whole thing is rather confusing, but both our blue Elex and this new purple stuff have a few things in common. They both come from a different world. And they can both cause terrible mutations while also unleashing incredible powers. But this Dark Elex is more like a disease. It's highly infectious, and once it finds a suitable host, it replicates at a rapid rate.
You sent a signal into space when you were still the hybrid, and then this strange object appears in the sky. Just what the hell did you do?
You have to understand, although I still remember much of my time as the hybrid, many of the machine's thoughts and memories were wiped out. But it appears the hybrid opened a wormhole near Magellan not long before its encounter with you.
A what?
A wormhole. A phenomenon capable of bridging time and space. And clearly our unwanted visitors used it to get here.
Right. And I guess them attacking us now is just...
I understand why you're angry. I would be skeptical too, but I'm afraid that's all. I ask myself these questions every damn day, believe me. But those memories are gone. The hybrid machine is a thing of the past, and there's no... We have to look forward. Try to figure it all out before the Skyans overwhelm us.
Skyans.
The alien invaders gave it to themselves. I was able to intercept some of their transmissions, which is how I...
You can understand them?
It's not difficult. I've spent many lifetimes in the pursuit of scientific knowledge. And the language of science and mathematical algorithms is universal. The Skyans are no exception.
All right, if you know so much about these Skyans...
They've come with a huge number of warriors and creatures to take over our planet. Harness it for their own use.
Why don't you tell me something I don't know?
Their formers are already operational. They're using them to pump Dark Elex into the ground. That makes the areas around these formers extremely dangerous. I wouldn't recommend approaching them without the best equipment possible, and a substantial military force. In the end, that's what it boils down to. Military force and equipment. We need strong allies who will support our cause. If we are to stand a chance against the overwhelming strength of the Skyans, the Sixth Power will have to become the greatest human military force in history.
That's the best you can come up with? Brute force?
That's only the beginning. We have a lot of work ahead of us, Jax. First, the Bastion is going to need improvements if it's going to house a growing army. And we can't lose sight of the movements of enemy troops and their Skyanid creatures. If we see them making any significant advances anywhere, we'll have to intervene immediately. And of course, the first thing we need is a suitable faction we can form and...
When are you going to do something about my infection?
I'm already working on it. The study of Dark Elex is at the top of my agenda. We still have time. I don't believe you're going to mutate, and you have a strong will. If Dark Elex works anything like the blue substance we know, you stand a good chance.
Don't fuck with me. I don't want this thing to kill me just because you want to play.
Look, it's going to take time. I need peace and quiet to conduct my research. In the meantime, you need to prepare for the coming battles with the Sky.
Okay, let's say I start...
There are so many feuds. All the factions in Magellan are at each other's throats. But the only way we can hope to defeat the Skyans is by building an army stronger than theirs. So speak to the leaders of each faction. Find out who would make the best and strongest ally. Join them, poach their warriors, or, I don't know, capture their commanding officer. I don't care how you do it. Just do whatever it takes to make the Bastion as powerful as it can be. And get moving. The enemy is practically...
Why would any faction want to join forces?
The only way we can stop the Skyans' advance is with an iron will and an army of fearless warriors. But all these factions have been fighting each other as long as they can remember. So the only solution is a new central power. One that has complete... As soon as the others see that humanity stands a chance against the invader, it's up to you to recruit them and train them. And find your old strength. You're the only one who can pull them out of their apathy. You must prepare them for the coming war. They'll be fighting to stop the total... Be their hero. Be their leader. Their last hope of salvation. Beast of Zakor.
Don't call me that. It's ancient history. And it isn't true anymore.
And yet, people still talk about your fight with the hybrid. About what you did in the war. You might be an outsider to them now, but they'll...
You're a fucking hypocrite, you know that? Like you had nothing to do with...
I'm weak and I'm burnt out. And the machine that controlled me back then doesn't exist anymore. It's your willpower that saved us all from the hybrid. And you still have it. Just as strong as it ever was. So go out there. Convince them to fight with us against the Skyans. And do it.
Improvements for the Bastion? What kind of...
Well, the first thing we need to do is clear the We can't take the next step with those things hounding.
Is that all?
You're the expert in killing things. I'm sure you can handle it.
How did you...
When you defeated that pathetic hybrid form, the logical part of the machine was destroyed. And that's when Dr. Adam Charles Dawkins started coming. Eventually, I managed to open the capsule I was stuck in. But it was a few weeks before I could move properly or use my... Can't say I'm quite my old self yet. But at least I'm free of the machine's destructive...
About the military forces of the... Kaya, the powerful berserker mage, is gathering her troops in the borderlands of Tavar, ready to protect the land.
The berserkers were never particularly adept at foreign policy. Okay. However, we still can't say which faction would be... We need to get more information about the other faction. All right?
Well, the Bastion still isn't for... First of all, I'll have to start thinking about who I... We still need more... I can either join one of the major factions, or speak to enough important figures. And let's not forget, there's the small matter of my infection.
Good. Then we know it. And remember, the suit...
Yeah, I know. Things will be harder without the kind of training and equipment I can...
That's right. Just don't make me wait too long. The future of the world is at stake.
just can't do that yet.
Father, is it true you're going to rebuild the bastion? Can I come with you?
I don't know if that's...
Oh, come. I won't go on.
And what if we're attacked by wild...
You'll take care of me.
Okay, but do exactly what I tell you.
Yeah. I'll be as quiet as a...
Stay close behind me, okay?
Don't trouble yourself. I'll take...
Is it always this exciting?
What do you mean?
Well, Mother didn't usually take me when she went out like this. I always had to stay in the fort. I mean, exciting stuff happens there too, but... Well, I know the fort already, but I've never been out here in my whole life.
Then you should keep in mind how dangerous it is.
Then it's a good thing I brought you.
I don't know enough about that. I don't know enough about that. I don't know enough about that.
Have you killed many people?
It's been known to happen. Some people just like to make trouble.
I know it happens sometimes, but I don't want people to die.
I get it, but
Just try to stay out of trouble, as much as you can from now on, okay? were you always gone? We hardly ever saw you.
I had my reasons.
Mother always said you'd save the world if you could.
Really? She said that.
So what have you been doing all this time?
Trying to convince the factions to get ready for the big threat that was coming.
Cool. I bet they all listened to you, didn't they?
Well, kinda.
When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
I don't know enough about that. I don't know enough about that.
You know what's cool about ghosts?
No.
You can't touch them. They just float around and no one can beat them. And you know why?
Why's that?
Well, because they're not really there. You could see them, but that's all. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Interesting. Shit. What's the use?
What does bastard mean?
Where did you hear that?
The kids at the fort used to call me that. I don't know what it means, but it didn't sound nice.
I guess I really should have come around more often. Don't pay any attention to that kind of talk.
Sometimes other kids are pretty stupid, huh?
To all you lonely wanderers out there, the bandits on the roads of the Lesser Ether. This is Herbert, broadcasting from the field.
I don't know enough about that. just can't do that yet.
I'm sure glad you're not an Alb commander anymore.
Why's that?
The Albs are so cold and unfriendly, just like the Icelands where they live.
It's mostly because they take so much Elex. It takes away their emotions.
Well, I think it's from that white plastic armor they wear. It must be freezing in that. What about your father? What was he like?
I never got to meet my real father. I grew up with the Albs. I didn't know where I really came from until a few years ago. My real parents were here with the Berserkers. Wardek was my foster father, and well, he was an Alb commander, just like me.
Is he still alive?
No idea. I haven't seen him since.
Maybe he's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Don't get too...
The area around the bastions should be...
Good. Then it's time to take a look at these walls. I heard there's a retired master builder living somewhere up. I'm not sure if he was ever responsible for... But maybe he can be persuaded to do it now anyway. I believe the old builder's name is Gart.
I'll see what I can...
Good. It looks like we're ready to start. We're both too busy to deal with everything. And the more people we have here, a commander who can keep all of our fighters. We can't let anarchy take root, or our little sixth power project will have failed before.
I think I found our commander. Warlord Theog down at the... He'd be perfect. I'm just not sure he'll be willing to go along.
Hey, this is your plan as much as mine. I'd never be able to do it alone, and you know... Don't get too close to the formers or their creatures until you've regained enough of your strength. We can't afford to lose you. No one else has your skills, or your ability to get things done.
You sure know how to motivate people.
Are you going to get rid of all the invaders?
I don't think anyone can do it alone. We all have to pull together if we're going to beat them. All the factions need to work together.
And what if they don't?
Then we'll all have to learn to live with the invaders. That's if they let us live. Right now, that's not looking likely.
You'll find a way. I know you will.
I think you better go back.
Aww, already? Thanks for bringing me with you, Father.
Take care of yourself.
Don't worry, I will. I hope you'll come see us now and again.